Hi there, my name is Matt Cole, co-producer of the Sexperts podcast, along with my great friend Brian Garrity. Before I begin, I just want to give a huge thanks to our guest during this episode, Hatton Jordan. He is a very funny stand-up comedian and teacher at the Push Comedy Theater. And speaking of the Push Comedy Theater, Norfolk Comedy Festival in Hampton Roads is coming up this September 11th through 16th. Go to norfolkcomedyfestival.com for tickets or pushcomedytheater.com. Also, it's the first weekend of the month, so I want to give a huge thanks to our Patreon supporters. And they are Sandy Cardin, Austin Johnson, Simon Hesseltine, Anna Sosa, Noel Papapoli, Spank Me Peterson, Austin, I have a huge penis priest. Trip, rev me up, I'm horny, rumble. And Matt, I just jismed, Holman, as well as Mark, Banshee. They so generously give every month to our podcast, and if you would like to be a part of the official fan club, go to patreon.com/Sexperts podcast. Without further ado, everything you're about to hear is made up on the spot, so please enjoy this next Sexepisode of The Sexperts.
Get on your computer, dial up the web, download some information into your head. It's Dr. John and Delilah, they're having a great time. Data to do, it's simply true, we're the Sexperts.
And we're recording, and intro music, and hi there, welcome to The Sexperts. I'm your host, Dr. John T. Alanese, CPM.
And I'm Delilah Hayder, conference call warm-up comic.
I want to talk about that at some point. But before we do, I want to talk about who we are as a couple. Delilah.
We are two men
Yes.
who have delved deeper into the world of sex
Yes.
than we're like the Jacques Cousteaus of sex.
Did you say Jacques Cousteaus? I think it's pronounced Jacques. A light J.
I'm an authentic person who doesn't try to fake the accents of other cultures.
Okay, whatever. Listen, okay, you're right. We have delved deep into sex. We've even gone undercover, and we have an undercover episode coming up, I think, for our 100th episode. I'm making promises my mouth can't fulfill, but...
Undercover butts.
But yeah, we are your Sexperts. We've been serving the Hampton Roads, Virginia area for, 37 years or something like that, ever since I've been married, I think, at least.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk to you about sex. We're coming to you live from a different location every week, and today
We get around.
We get around, we actually are at the Fozzie Bear Museum.
So many Fozzies.
In Akron, Ohio. And it's really weird because Fozzie Bear was invented in Akron. And it's like their town idol, which is crazy.
It's crazy. All these people in Fozzie gear. It's somewhat intimidating.
Right.
If you say you woke up here and you didn't know where you were, you'd freak the fuck out.
Fucking acid trip town, yeah. But we are not talking about furries today, which we'll talk about for another time. We do have a different topic of the day, which is very, very also scary.
I hope it's near and or dear to your heart.
I don't have a lot of experience with this, but people have written in a very interesting pattern. People have written in their horror stories about afternoon delights. So today's topic of the day: afternoon de-fright.
I'm so excited to hear you do that 3 or 4 times this episode.
So yeah, we're talking about how afternoon delights, which is sex during the day, can go horribly wrong. And we have a few letters we'll read. But before we get to that, let's actually get to our guest. I see him walking up right now. Hi there, welcome.
Hello. How are you?
I am doing very well. Why don't you introduce yourself to our audience out there?
I don't know if I need an introduction, do I?
You probably don't.
Unfortunately, it's a podcast and they can't see
my
who you are.
voice alone, I think, might give me away. Vaughan Troubadour.
Oh,
Yeah.
Vaughan.
Yep.
And a lot of people, I will spell it for you. VAUGHN Troubadour.
And so for those of you who don't recognize your voice...
I'm on a break from a tour.
Okay.
I have the time, and I appreciate it.
Oh,
and,
thank you.
What do you think of the Fozzie Bear outfit I'm wearing?
Holy.
Snug.
Holy.
Snug.
Yeah, you look like you may wear a large size, but that looks like maybe a small size, a small child.
You might
size.
be
It
right.
might be a
You
large
might be
child,
right.
and you needed a large adult.
You might be right.
So, Vaughan, we already know what you're all about, but for those of you who don't know, what are you all about?
Well, I world famous for fronting rock and roll bands, plural. That's what I do.
That's great. You're kind of a serial frontist.
I do. I have multiple bands at multiple times. Often, my one band will open up for my second band.
That sounds fucking tiring.
I change outfits. I change hairstyles. I change my accent. That's what makes Vaughan Troubadour Vaughan Troubadour.
Holy shit! Wow, you are a rock star. Now, do you play any instruments as well? Or are you just the frontman, the singer?
I do not need to play instruments because if you look around today, frontmen play instruments. They got a guitar and they sing, and I'm classic. Give me the mic. Let me say the name of the city. I'm going to steal your girlfriend as I drink the whiskey.
I saw him in '82 in Oakland.
Yeah.
And he was experimenting with the harmonica. And I was there the night. He was like, what the fuck? I don't need this. And threw it into the audience.
I do. Was it you that I pelted?
No, that was a little girl.
And I do remember doing the memorial service 1 week later. Yeah. We were called, or for that evening, we were called Vaughan Troubadour and the Mourners. And that
I love that.
we recorded it, and then we released it as an album. It did not sell as well as we expected.
Yeah, well,
I recognize you put another syllable in there. Is it mourners, as in corner meets mourner?
Like mourning, you're crying.
Mourning.
You know, the young lady that I threw this harmonica, it wedged ironically in her mouth. So as she was crying, it was creating music, and people thought she was gifted. In fact, she was dying. So I don't like to bring that up, and we will change subjects.
Oh, that was a good transition into our topic of the day, which is afternoon De-FRIGHT.
all right, it's a 20-minute show. I want to get to that. I really do. But
You sound so fucking sincere.
but it makes me think of this restaurant around the corner from my house.
What is it?
African Delights.
African Delights. What are they?
Have you ever toured in Africa?
Yeah.
I have. I did.
Oh, wow.
On the eastern part of Africa. And around 1993 to 1998, 5 years running, we just did shows up and down, up and down.
I think that was a response tour.
Response tour.
Yeah, he was, We Are the World was such a big thing, and he was left out.
Oh.
He went on the I Am the Motherfucking World tour.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you did your own I Am the World, and you did every voice, in every different voice that you could.
It did. It was a challenge, but as a front man of
You crushed the Cyndi Lauper, bro.
I did. Thank you very much. And I'm shaking his hand, but people cannot see this. But it's good when people recognize talent and gifted performers.
Oh, my God.
So I have spent some time in Africa. It was a 5-year run. I caught some diseases that were unrelated to anything sexual. A lot of them were just walking down the street diseases. I didn't think that was a thing. But when you're there, it's different than here, right? I mean, it's different than Akron, Ohio. You go there, there's like viruses just in the air.
Yeah, Akron, you're getting a sex disease.
It's
You ain't coming home from
else
a sex
right.
disease.
Let's go around the table and name our favorite Vaughan Troubadour bands. I'll start off. First off, I loved you. I loved you in the Paperweights, where you would just stand on stage and not even move, not even do anything, just for about 20 minutes or so. Delilah, favorite?
I liked Vaughan Troubadour and the Different Strokes.
I didn't catch that one.
It was he went with the cast of the show Different Strokes.
That's right.
Mr. Drummond, Willis.
Two of them were dead at the time.
Yeah, and that's where it did have a sad ending where that's where the sister started doing drugs and then it ultimately led to her on
Well, it's kind of interesting because a couple of the cast members were dead, but it worked well. it made me create the paperweights, because what we did is we used the bodies of the different strokes. We just as paperweights, and they were holding down certain musical instruments and our lyrics. You don't want them to fly away, of course.
He's like a Native American. He uses every part of the deceased band member.
What about Vaughan Troubadour on Vaughan Troubadour? What was one of your favorite bands to front?
I would probably say, maybe I'm patting myself on the back here, when I went solo. I was sick of the bands. I thought maybe I had been in too many, because at the time I think we were at 39 and a half.
I think that tour was called Vaughan Troubadour, and who the fuck else do you need?
That's right. I went solo, but I don't play an instrument, right? So I don't play piano, and it was just me singing along, forgetting lyrics, trying poems.
Trying poems.
What
were your challenges with poems and poetry in general?
You have to write them ahead of time, and it's not as easy as it looks when you watch Jimmy Stewart do them, on The Tonight Show, back in the day. He's got these poems that are funny and poignant, and I would try, and in the spotlight, in the moment, very difficult.
God, I can see. Well, let me mention another one of my favorite Vaughan Troubadours. Besides, I like the solo project as well. I really like Vaughan Troubadour and the Zubadors, where you all dressed up as different animals. You chose, which was very interesting, a giraffe, and you had a really long neck piece that actually went out in the crowd when you bent over, and you put apples in your mouth, and you would feed apples. So that was inventive. That was
very
creative.
inventive.
I liked Vaughan Troubadour when he sang "Only True Stories" hooked up to a lie detector machine. That was amazing.
That was good too. I experiment. People, you say what you will about Vaughan Troubadour, but I try different things, and I'm not going to play the same old hits time after time, because I don't have any hits, because I keep changing bands.
There was also Vaughan Troubadours when he filled in for Jim Morrison.
Right.
Filled in.
No, he played. He nailed it. He had the accent.
Well, speaking of nailing it, I want to get to our topic of the day. It is a spooky one. I feel the change coming already. Afternoon De-FRIGHTS.
Yeah. Can we put a pin in that? You sound like a busy man.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. You must have a lot of conference calls to close deals.
I do.
And I'm guessing when you're on the phone waiting for everyone else to get on the phone, there's a lot of dead time where people are talking about the weather. Wherever the hell they are.
Because it's 5 different cities. Yeah.
How their weekend was. All shit nobody wants to hear.
Right.
Well, I don't mean to promote myself so obviously, but
blatantly,
I started a new business where you can hire me, and I will be on the conference call 5 minutes before anybody else, and I start doing stand-up.
Ooh, wait! You had talked about that earlier, right, in your introduction.
I started doing anywhere from 5 to 25 minutes of stand-up while we wait for everyone to show up, and no one can talk until I'm done. They're on mute.
So it's interesting. Is crowd work? Are you kind of doing crowd work, or
kind of? I mean, once I get to know these people a little bit.
How do you get payment? What is the payment plan here? What is the business model? This is insane.
Business model is I start the timer when I log in, and
wait, you get paid per hour.
Yeah,
it's only 5 minutes at a time.
I'm doing conference calls all day long.
What?
Yeah.
How many a day?
15, 20.
Shit, you.
I do multiple time zones. But anyways, I just kill for 15, 20, 25 minutes while we wait for everyone to sign in, and as soon as I see all the green lights lit up on the WebEx, I do my closer, and I'm out, and the conference call gets going, and nobody has to hear all that bullshit small talk that they hate so much.
Speaking of opening acts, let's dish a little bit, Vaughan Troubadour. Who have you worked with? Who has been an opening act for you that you just hated or liked, whichever?
Oh boy!
I was just about to close.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Yeah, that is bullshit. Fuck off.
I work with the boys from Tennessee, the Kings of Leon. Have you heard about them?
Yeah, we were actually in Lithuania. They love Kings of Leon in Eastern Europe. I have no idea why. But did you like them?
Yeah, the Kings of Levon.
I worked with them. I was much older than they were. They were 13 years old. And they had not released an album yet, but they still called themselves the Kings of Leon, right? So it was at I was signing autographs at a Tower Records, and they were in the corner
This was a while ago.
performing.
Wait,
And-
I'm sensing a pattern.
yes.
Not only does Leon have kings,
What?
Akron has a king.
Oh,
What are you
A
talking
king.
about? What are you talking about?
LeBron
Elvis?
James. This
LeBron James.
LeBron James owns this Fozzie museum
Why? Well, why don't they have a LeBron museum?
because he doesn't want the attention. He wants it to go to Fozzie.
That sounds weird. Anyways, Kings of Leon. What happened?
yes, and I met them, and they were wonderful. They were wonderful. That was a highlight. They were young, 13, 14-year-olds.
Yeah.
They were hungry, and they were.
I'd be hungry.
They were doing very well. I remember they were shirtless. That was their thing. 13 years old. You know, they were wearing bathing suits. It was during the summer. It was at a pool.
One piece, one piece or two piece.
Shirtless at a pool.
Shirtless at a pool.
Oh, I
the
guess
Kings
one
of
piece.
Leon. Who did I work with back in the day?
Yeah. Who'd you hate? Who grinded your gears?
Grinded my gears. Oh boy, Billy Joel.
Yeah. I
Because
think he's an
because
alcoholic.
he was
right?
drunk, shoving the.
He was
stick shift.
pushy and bossy, pushy and bossy. And a lot of people don't know this. When he's playing the piano, that piano is pre-programmed.
It's a player piano.
I always thought, how
player
could you sing
piano.
and play the piano? That's impossible. No one can do
he's
that.
pushing things. It's all. I've seen the when they're warming up and the sound check, and it's all push button, push button, push button.
Yeah, it's all bullshit. Well, speaking of pushing things, I want to get to our topic of the day,
yes.
which is afternoon De-FRIGHTS. So I do want to read this letter
I got
from Stephanie.
Do you have do you do Halloween shows?
I do.
Oh.
That's
Like a lot of bands make a big deal out of Halloween.
Yes,
like they do
it's a
cover
rock and roll
albums.
time. We call it Rocktober. Right? Maybe you've heard. I invented that.
No.
phraseology.
Do you have the rights to that?
I do have the rights for that. I get a little bit of income quarterly, 4 times a year. I get a little check in the mail for Rocktober. You know, you ever heard of Two for Tuesday?
Yeah.
I invented that one as well. So I do have a show this Halloween. I'm going to be at the Hampton Coliseum.
Oh, in Virginia.
In Virginia, yes, we're going to be. It's going to be Vaughan Troubadour and people from the Push Comedy Theater are going to be grabbing some musical instruments. We're going to be doing a little musical extravaganza. If you dress up. If you dress up before the show and come wearing a costume, you pay $50 to get in. But if you're not wearing a costume, you get in for free.
Well, this is going to be yet another.
That might be the opposite, and possibly I probably should switch that.
Not if you don't like costumes.
No. Do you like costumes? You're wearing a Fozzie costume.
I enjoy costumes. It's an alter ego. Each day I wear the Fozzie. I like this, but I will wear spandex and I wear a tinfoil outfit, full one head to toe tinfoil with little finger pockets, tinfoil gloves, and when I go outside, or whatever temperature it is, you can add 50 degrees inside because of the tinfoil just magnifies the temperature.
Why would you want to do that, Mr. Troubadour?
Well, I do it to create some inspiration in my brain, right? Because I need a new band, right? So I'm thinking of band names. So anything that can kind of shoot those exciting brain waves to
Troubadourphins.
That's it, and it creates. I've run out of band names. I've run out of band names.
I think
so
Delilah
that's one
can
reason
help
I'm
Don't,
here. Also,
don't give up hope. 90 episodes in, and Dr. John finally has a good pun.
Oh, God. So you like wearing costumes. Very inventive, by the way. Do you ever do, besides Fozzie, like any sort of anime characters, any like Comic-Con type things, Wolverine, Harry Potter's, anything like that? Anything that
my
we would know of?
favorite superhero, and there's only one, by the way. If you had to mention one, it's the Hulk.
Oh, nice.
And because the Hulk. That's it. That's all you need to know. So sometimes I will buy and use, and sometimes my wardrobe person will create this Hulk, very realistic Hulk
That's good.
costume, and we'll put some things on the bottom of my feet to add maybe 4 to 5 feet of my height, and I kind of look like the Hulk, the real
amazing.
Hulk.
You just gave me an idea for a great crossover.
What is that?
Fozzie the Hulk.
Oh, what is that?
He's a stand-up comedian bear by day, but when he loses his temper,
Ooh.
He just bears out.
he turns into a green, gigantic stand-up comedian.
Lord, the world does not need another one of those. Speaking of not needing another one of those, I want to get to our topic of the day, which is but I'm looking at our time. The museum is actually closing up soon, so unfortunately, Vaughan Troubadour, we have no more time. I'm so sorry. We didn't get to talk about Afternoon De-FRIGHTS. I have a stack of letters here that we're just not going to address. Maybe we'll post them online. Would that be all right, Delilah? You have some time?
Yeah, I got plenty of space on my zip drive.
Okay. Well, Vaughan Troubadour, you are a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on. I feel like we're in the presence of greatness. Keep on keeping on. You are so creative. Anything you want to plug? Anything? A tour coming up? An album? Anything?
Once again, I'll just keep going. I want a lot of people to show up for the Halloween show at the Hampton Coliseum. It's going to be Vaughan Troubadour and people from the Push Comedy Theater. And remember, to save a little money,
don't wear a costume.
Don't wear a costume.
All right, that's going to be it for the Sexperts. I'm your host, Dr. John T. Alaniz, CPM.
And my name is Delilah Hey there. And if you get tired of small talk on conference calls, hey there.
See you sex time.
How you doing, Akron?
Yes! Gotta do it simply true, we're the Sexperts.
That's our show. If you like what you heard and you think it was worth $1, join the official Sexperts fan club at patreon.com/Sexperts podcast. A special thanks to the Push Comedy Theater and all of our supporters. Bye-bye.